Hello, my name is Tim Newell, Managing Director and Senior Portfolio Manager here at Harvest Investment Services. With me today is Mike McClellan, our Director of Retirement Plans. Here at Harvest, we work with employers that truly desire to help their employees build real downside risk controls into their 401k plan balances. We also work with those employers to help them to identify and reduce their fiduciary risk as it relates to their ERISA 401k plan. Mike, as a 25 plus year veteran in the retirement plan space, you've consulted with thousands of employers on their 401k and other types of retirement plans. What would you say, in a nutshell, is some of the most serious issues that employers are facing today as it relates to their 401k plan?
Well, all you have to do is Google 401k lawsuits, and you'll see how serious a problem it is. And those lawsuits are caused from a fiduciary breach. And that's one of the things that we do, or I do. In fact, it's the first step I do when I meet with employers to talk about their 401k plan and their fiduciary duty.
So, Mike, what exactly is a fiduciary as it relates to a 401k plan?
Well, fiduciary is one that holds trust for the behalf of others.
Okay.
It's a general definition. But under ERISA, a fiduciary has to be prudent. It has to follow the plan document. It has to be, that fiduciary has to diversify the investments under the plan, making sure they comply with 404C. They also have to make sure that the plan expenses are reasonable for the services being rendered. But more often than not, the real critical fiduciary duty is overlooked, and that is to act solely in the best interest of the plan participants and their beneficiaries. And I don't know, I think why that's overlooked is because it's just fiduciaries under the plan getting confused on who's serving that participant. And the participant has primarily been left out. That's the reason why, Tim, it's, I think, so valuable. Our 401k Active Watch is for plan sponsors because it really provides them with a fiduciary that'll put it in writing that we are on the hook with participants.
Well, Mike, what is it that's brought about all of these changes over the last several years and this mountain of additional regulation that has come about as it relates to ERISA type 401k plans?
Well, really, it all boils down to the vast losses that participants suffered during the last financial crisis or Great Recession of 2008 through the first quarter of 2009.
Yeah. Well, Mike, if I'm an employer, what are my employees doing right now to manage the risk in their 401k plan? And how is that different from what they were doing back in 2007?
Well, unfortunately, Tim, most participants are still doing diversification or selecting a target date fund from their provider.
And Mike, how is that any different than what they were doing back in 2007 before we had a 50+% decline in the market?
Again, unfortunately, Tim, they're doing the same things they were years ago.
Well, Mike, let's take a look at what exactly is it about diversification that folks think that works well to help reduce risk in an investment portfolio, specifically in their 401k plan. Take a look at this slide, and it shows what happened to a well-diversified portfolio, diversified across various different asset classes through the bull market cycle that we went through from 2003 to 2007. And here you can see that whether you were in the bottom asset class or the top asset class, they all performed on the chart anyway, looks fairly good. But let's flip to the next slide and let's look at how did that diversification really help in the bear market cycle we went through, where most folks saw anywhere from a 30 to 60% decline in their 401k plans. And what we can see is that diversification really did not help to truly reduce the risk. So in essence, diversification can be a myth that it's truly a great way to reduce risk in a bear market cycle. So what is it that Harvest does differently? Well, we employ a strategy called 401k Active Watch, where a participant, through the help of one of our advisors, would select a model, and that model is a tactically managed model that has built-in downside risk controls, whether it's the most conservative model all the way up to the most aggressive model. All of our models have downside risk controls that are very rules-driven. And the objective is to make sure that we can capture the upside of the market without losing it all on the next time we have a decline in the market cycle. So if you're an employer and you're concerned about employee outcomes for your employees, if you're concerned about the risk exposure that you have as a fiduciary, talk to Mike, call us, and let's get together and determine what it's going to take to do a better job not only for your employees, but also to reduce your fiduciary risk as an employer. Thank you for listening.